Hello, welcome to TAM Talks, where we discuss the greatest challenges that museum and cultural leaders are facing today. In this episode, I'm talking with Emily Wilkinson, Director of the Public Art at the Texas Tech University System based in Lubbock, and she serves as a TAM counselor at large. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Okay, let's begin. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into museum work?
Yes, so my story is kind of long and convoluted. I was in school to be a school counselor, and when I realized to be a school counselor, you have to teach first. So I went to school and got a post-bac certification in elementary school, and I was not too excited about being a substitute teacher, which is kind of how people tell you to get teaching experience. So I ended up working at a hands-on science museum and started working in their education department, and was able to teach and work with kids and create lesson plans and do all these fun things. And as I was student teaching, I realized that science is one of those things that students don't really get to do that much. And they got so excited. What the museum offered is kind of this extra time to learn about science. And I really just fell in love with that form of informal education. And so rather than trying to get a teaching job when I finished my certification, actually ended up going back to school and going through the museum science program at Texas Tech, and have been in museums or some form of museums ever since.
Yeah, great education background, museum education, very, very close to me. And I did the same thing, went to UT for grad school and haven't left Austin since. So I know how the energy of the academic community can be very inspiring. Can you tell us a little bit about the public art program at Texas Tech? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I feel like I've kind of touched all different kinds of museums. I worked at science, history, archaeology, but my love has always been art. I've always wanted to do art. And my last job at the Ranching Heritage Center, I was fortunate enough to be selected for the public art committee at the Texas Tech system. And then soon after that job became open, the last director had to move. And so it was kind of an interesting shift. At first I kind of felt like I was leaving the museum world. And then I realized I really wasn't. It's just a totally different way to do a museum. All of our public art obviously is outside, available to the public all the time. Texas Tech does a percent for art program, meaning I actually officially work in our facilities planning and construction department. So all of our budgets come from our construction projects. So it's 1% of that budget. We use that to commission artworks for that project. And really the main requirement is that it be in somewhere that's easily accessible to the public. A lot of the times that's an outdoor sculpture. Sometimes it means it's the lobby or another place that's easier to find. We are doing a little bit more of indoor pieces depending on the project, but it's a really great way for me to work with artists all over the world, to work with people on campus who may not normally interact with the artistic process. We get to talk through things like, what have they seen on campus? What do they like? What do they not like? What types of works have they seen? And so it's really fun. As a former museum educator, I feel like constantly my job is to get to talk to people about art and get them excited about it. So all of our pieces are site specific. They're commissioned for the project. The artist has to create an original work for the project and they can't create it again. And so this is the only place in the world you can see these pieces. We are also a system-wide program. So most of our pieces are at Texas Tech in Lubbock, but we also have pieces at our Health Sciences Center campuses in El Paso, Amarillo, Abilene, Odessa. We have pieces at Angelo State in San Angelo, and we've recently added Midwestern State into our system. So once they have their first construction project under the tech system, then we'll start commissioning art for them as well. So it's really, it's a huge area to have our collection, but I love being able to see different parts of the state, seeing how Lubbock operates versus El Paso. You know, there's a lot of interesting community dynamics that we get to interact with, and just having the art there for anybody to experience has been wonderful. Tech has commissioned, I believe, over 200 pieces since this program started in 1998, and are consistently ranked in top 10 lists that randomly come out of public art programs. So it's a very well-regarded program and kind of a little bit of a hidden gem in Lubbock.
Yeah, and I didn't realize the statewide reach. That's really impressive. I'm gonna have to check out some of the other locations.
Yeah.
So you're in a really interesting position compared to some of the others that we've spoken with on this series, and that is that during the pandemic you never shut down. People could explore your sculptures, you know, at one of the things that people could do, which was be outside. But of course, everyone is facing some type of challenge at their institutions. Can you tell me a little bit about what challenges you're facing today?
Yeah, so we have, of course, the kind of perpetual university challenges that we want to engage the students, to get them to notice pieces, to interact with them. And, you know, even if kind of my thought is whether they like it or not is not really a concern. I don't want them to ignore it. I want them to see it. They might hate it. And sometimes if you hate it, you think about it more because you don't know why it's there. So I really wanted to engage the students. I think, you know, another challenge is that we don't have a technical front door. You can enter anywhere on campus, see our pieces. And so it's harder to get the message across that it is all one kind of cohesive program, that we commission all the works with a very specific purpose in mind. So just that education element can be a little bit tricky when people can go see the works any time of day. So, and I think another challenge obviously is having works outside. Texas in general, I feel like it's pretty harsh when it comes to weather. We have major temperature fluctuations, lots of sunlight, lots of dust and wind here in Lubbock. So just the conservation of our pieces, making sure they're maintained. I'm a staff of one, so keeping an eye on all of those pieces, especially considering there's pieces in other cities around the state. So trying to find not just being able to keep an eye on them for maintenance, but conservation if something major were to happen, are just some of those challenges that we deal with.
Yeah, and so, you know, now that you've identified several, what are some ways that you're addressing these challenges?
So I think, you know, we are trying to embrace social media. I think with being a college campus, we've got a lot of younger demographic. So trying to, I've got great students that I work with, tapping into what the kids are doing these days. So we started a TikTok. Of course, we have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We recently received a grant for an app. So we've been working on our mobile app, a new website, and then Tech is a very large campus. If you've never been to Lubbock, we are actually the second largest in terms of acreage in the nation of contiguous land. So wow. We have gotten a cart to be able to drive people around. So our challenge with maintenance, I think we've been able to establish an endowment to help with funding, and we've banded together with other public art professionals around the state to try to get a conservator to come to Texas. She actually seems very interested in that because the state needs more conservators. And our hope is that if she is able to set up a studio, obviously she'll be able to travel, but we're hoping she'll also be able to start training our students or young professionals in the museum field who are interested in conservation. This would be a great field for people to get into, because this state could definitely use a lot more conservators than what we currently have.
Yeah, that's great. And so really, I hope that works out. You can bring her, and I'd love for TAM to be able to help connect her with people in need.
Yes, we will definitely keep you posted on that, because it sounds like a very real possibility. So we're excited.
Okay, stay tuned for that. Hopefully a conservator coming to our state soon. Okay, to wrap things up, anything else that you'd like to share with our TAM members?
As I mentioned, we are in process of launching our brand new website. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, if someone is interested in seeing some of the works in our collection, I feel like we do have just an amazing list of artists in our collection that soon they will be able to go to our website and see all of those. So we're very excited about that website. We're actually also approaching our 25th anniversary in a couple of years. So we're working on hopefully creating a book to kind of commemorate that. So we're excited about that. And then of course, with programming, we're working with some local students who are looking at doing yoga around some of our pieces. So we're excited about that, things like that we can do with the students that, really kind of bring those pieces to a new and interesting way to interact with them.
That's great. Some great ideas there. And then using technology to help bring it all together is a really great way. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today on behalf of TAM and sharing a little bit about the public art program at the Texas Tech University system. Much more expansive than I thought, and hopefully we'll get a conservator soon that could help serve the entire state. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Goodbye.